Ah! I've seen you before. Maybe this'll be the last time. Maybe this'll be the first time. Never heard of HiveSwap? That's really okay. I didn't really need to know about its existence either. It belongs to a franchise of long-running MS Paint adventures known as Homestuck, which I've never read once in my life. I once knew someone special who put this game on my computer before I never saw her ever again. One day I thought I would try it out, experiment with something new. You see, as I mentioned before, I have no idea what Homestuck even is about. All I know is that it seems to have a lot of stuff to do with the zodiac signs and gray people with horns. Now, I have heard of Prequel Adventure, which is another MS Paint adventure like Homestuck, but set in a world of Tamriel around the plotline of the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, following the ongoing story of a Khajiit and her unfortunate adventures. My big idea behind this whole review is really the question of, can I truly enjoy this product without having any prior knowledge about what Homestuck really is? Let's find out. Placed in the year 1994, Joey and Jude are pretty average kids in a distant world where nobody has a nose. Today is November 11th, and the day started off like any other, except monsters? Yes, monsters! These evil beasts have separated our two characters, and now we're assuming the role of Joey, or as I like to call her, predominantly eyelashes, because hot damn, she's got some pretty eyelashes. Overall, there's pretty standard controls, layouts, it's a point-and-click adventure, and there's a lot of text to read. So if you enjoy digging into a rich world, this is for you. I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of subtle hints and callbacks, because as my save file here indicates, I've never read Homestuck. As you explore the house, the player starts to fill in the gaps that Joey's mother is absent, and their father seems to rarely show up around the house. He seems to be an exotic hunter of some sort and must travel a lot. In his stead, the two siblings are taken care of by a babysitter, who always seems to show up blasted by cheap booze. Can't say I really blame him. I would too if I lived in a world without a nose. Choking must be all kinds of extra lethal in this universe. The exposition in these scenes are very well crafted, and the art is incredibly gorgeous. The art style constantly has me hooked and craving more. I can never seem to look away from it. The opening environment in particular has a very subtle and really comfortable feeling to it, despite being an incredible danger. Exploring Joey's room reminds me of being a young child myself, amidst a warmer night in early November. One qualm I do have with the art is that there's occasional character movements that seem to be lacking frames. Maybe it's just a me thing, but it sometimes is distracting to see characters move in game with loops that only have like 13 frames of animation rather than 24 or something smoother. I don't know. It's not really a huge pick. The game still looks incredibly appealing, so I'm just saying, it's kind of distracting. Being a point-and-click adventure game, the puzzles aren't really challenging, but they are engaging enough to keep me going along. And like I said, there's a lot of information being exchanged, and a lot of dialogue has a strong wit to it, keeping it very entertaining. For a lot of this game, two characters will open up an interface where they will communicate with each other. I didn't have a problem with this much in the second half of the game, but I didn't much care for it in the first half. In order to talk with Jude, Joey's brother, you must talk through a walkie-talkie. This is fine, but Jude doesn't shut the fuck up. He just keeps droning on, and I just want to play the game! Usually the exchanges between these two characters are quite witty, but it gets old after a short while. In the later half, you talk through some sort of tablet device where the conversations are being held via an instant messaging service. The blocks of text are generally more appealing the way they scroll, and the dialogue is much more interesting to read since the right amount of exposition is delivered through these conversations. Eventually, Joey is whisked away to this foreign planet via a strange portal device in her attic, and now the real plot begins to thicken. Can I talk about the portal thing real quick? Okay, I don't like it. Now, I don't know if this portal thing bears any relevance to Homestuck. I mean, I guarantee it fucking does. But for me, the organic storytelling of Joey is completely broken when she walks through a giant metal portal in her house. I mean, she could have done this at like any point in her life. Why now is it relevant when there's a bunch of monsters attacking this relatively normal kid? I don't know. Seems a little cliche to me, but I guess it's fine. I don't really have a problem with it in the end. So here we are in a foreign place. Very early on, it's obvious this tech is quite alien, and Joey makes note that the alphabet she sees is nothing like anything she's ever seen before, but for one odd reason or another, she can decipher it still. She establishes contact with a stranger by using the earlier mentioned tablet device, which makes for some pretty amusing dialogue still, and it's up to her to escape, making friends with the alien on the other side of the line, Zephros. Okay, before I go on, it's very obvious that the letter X has some weird context. If I'm saying the name Zephyrus, I don't know, incorrectly, feel free to let me know, but until then, I'm gonna keep calling him that. Zephyrus. So Zephyrus and Joey become acquainted in this dangerous hive world, and though he is frail and weak, he promises to help Joey out, and so we turn to him. Playing as Zephyrus is really where the game shines for me. Joey is obviously my favorite character, but playing as Zephyrus for a short amount of time gives new players to the Homestuck lore a chance to get a grip on what's really happening in this world. You're able to find small bits about what the culture is and how people exist in it, even where Zephyrus himself is in this alien world. It's very well written, and you can learn a lot in this period of time while not being destroyed by exposition or poor pacing. Zephyrus eventually makes for his front door, but before he can get very far, he is immediately blasted by a missile. Why? I don't really know. I guess for no reason? I mean, the game sort of eventually tells you it was essentially for no reason. I don't know. But eventually Joey does meet with Zephyrus and helps him out. While they flee the city, being destroyed by this fish-looking bitch, quickly bonding as friends, the two set off on a new adventure and... Oh, wait. That's it? Yeah, that's it. That was Act 1. All of it. Every bit of it. Bear in mind, this is only Act 1 of 4 parts, but this act could be finished in roughly 2 hours. Even less if you skipped all the extra exploration. I actually really wish there was more, and I think that's a good sign here. So what do I think of HiveSwap? Does it do a good job of telling its story when I have no clue what Homestuck is? Yeah, I think so. I was pretty interested the whole time and was very happy exploring and learning more about this world and the characters in it. The art is very pretty, the soundtrack is real jammin'. So I say give HiveSwap a good chance, and ignore that Homestuck even exists if you want, because this game deserves a real chance. Well, there you have it. Sometimes you just gotta let go. Sometimes you just gotta find something new to look at, something else to explore, something else to find interest in, even if you don't really understand it. As far as I'm concerned, today is the first day of many new days, and I hope you guys are having just as much fun as I am. Good luck out there.